We spend a lot of time talking about the Green Deal and how inland shipping is supposed to be this backbone of sustainable logistics.
Right, the whole modal shift narrative. Move containers off trucks, put them on barges.
Exactly, save the planet.
Yeah.
But if you actually look at the labor data we have for this deep dive today, the savior is bleeding out.
It really is. I mean, we are looking at a sector vital for that modal shift, yet it's facing an absolute existential crisis. The headline figure is honestly terrifying. They are staring down 20,000 vacancies by 2030.
20,000. Which, I mean, in the grand scheme of the European economy, that might sound manageable to you listening at home, but
So the context is everything here, because the current total workforce is roughly 20,000 people.
wow. So we aren't talking about a minor shortage.
No, they are looking at a scenario where the sector needs to double its size
Yeah.
or effectively replace its entire existing population in less than 5 years.
That is wild. It's like looking at a software company where every single senior engineer retires next year, and they have zero juniors in the pipeline. How did it get this bad?
It's a perfect storm of demographics and, well, lifestyle expectations. First, you have this demographic wall. If you look at key logistics hubs like the Rhineland region, projections show that by 2050, 14% of the population will be 75 or older.
So the captains are just aging out.
Exactly. The captains are aging out, and there's literally nobody behind the wheel to replace them.
Because recruiting young people is difficult when the job involves living on a boat for weeks at a time.
Yeah, you've hit on the core lifestyle clash there. In the Netherlands, the average rate of part-time work is about 48%. The modern workforce prioritizes flexibility. They want to be home for dinner.
And in inland shipping.
Part-time work is only 29%. It scores the absolute lowest on work-life balance because you cannot just clock out at 5 p.m. when you are in the middle of a river.
Right. So the industry gets desperate. And usually when industries get desperate, they start making short-term decisions that hurt them in the long run. Is that what's happening with this concept of grown pluck or green picking?
Unfortunately, yes. Green picking refers to employers hiring students from institutions like STC or Nova College before they even finish their degrees. The industry is so desperate, the money is good, so the students take the bait.
That sounds like a win-win on the surface, though. The student gets paid, the company gets a sailor.
But it is a trap. If they leave school early, they don't get their full diploma. And without that diploma, they can never qualify as a captain.
Ah, so they hit a career ceiling immediately.
Exactly. The industry is filling entry-level spots today by cannibalizing the future leaders it needs for tomorrow.
They are eating their own seed corn. But surely there are structural fixes that don't mortgage the future like that.
There are. The barrier to entry is being lowered significantly for lateral entrants. Under new rules, someone with prior work experience only needs 90 sailing days to become a qualified sailor.
90 days. That is incredibly fast. That opens the door for someone burned out on corporate life to pivot to the water.
It does. And to support the employers, there is the SLIM subsidy. That's a 45 million euro fund for 2025, specifically to compensate SMEs for the time and cost of training these new people.
Okay, so we can train people faster and remove the financial risk, but that still leaves the lifestyle issue. You are still stuck on a boat, unless we talk about the sci-fi solution.
This is where it gets fascinating. The industry is betting heavily on shore control centers. We are seeing millions in funding going toward remote piloting, including a 33.6 million euro allocation for 2026 maritime projects.
Walk us through this. How does it actually work?
Imagine an office building in a business park. Inside, you have captains sitting in ergonomic chairs, surrounded by screens, using joysticks to steer a 100-meter barge that is physically sailing miles away. They use 4G, 5G networks, and advanced sensor data to pilot the ship.
Companies like CFAR are doing this right. You turn a nomadic, lonely lifestyle into a 9-to-5 office job where you sleep at home. That solves the recruiting problem instantly.
Ideally, yes, but we have a legal lag. Technology moves exponentially, but the law moves linearly. Trials in Rotterdam and Amsterdam prove semi-autonomous sailing is safe, but current laws still mandate a physical crew on board for any ship longer than 20 meters.
Because the law assumes control means having your hands on a physical wheel on the deck.
Correct. It is a liability issue. If the internet cuts out, who is responsible? But make no mistakes, while we invest billions in concrete, steel, and hydrogen engines, the real bottleneck is human capital. Without people, the Green Deal stands still.
It is a stark reminder that logistics is ultimately a human endeavor. So, here is a thought to leave you with. If shore control succeeds, we are looking at the rise of the remote captain. Imagine a world where the most experienced sailor on the river has never actually felt the sway of the deck under their feet. It forces us to ask how many other ancient professions are about to be physically redefined by remote work. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
See you next time.